Do you want more variety in your game? What if we get it in the form of gimmicks? Araknie here had a weird time with Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy's Conquest and doesn't really know what to think of it. Yeah, that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. Rare and pants, baby, they never stop. So I'll use this review to see what to make of it, and let's start it. I'm for once not sure what point I wanna make. I'll figure it out when we reach the end. I'm usually starting from the story, but there's nothing here. I'm supposed to read the manual for that? No, it's supposed to be in the game. You get a bit of it. The other Kongs will tell you that Donkey Kong has been kidnapped. So you gather that's why Diddy has to get hold of Dixie. Whomever's this pal, she's good with an electric guitar, so she's cool by me. Also, Cranky Kong makes fun of insecure men for complaining about a girl protagonist in a video game. In 1995, Rare was very forward, and sometimes it paid off beautifully. Come on guys, don't be afraid of your emotions. You can grow up better than that. Everybody's got insecurities. Learn to accept them and get better with them. You can even overcome some in time. I know I did, and without having to become an angry all the time man. Life's not all roses, but I'm not gonna let it drag down to my worst behaviors. Aside from that, I'm a bit delaying talking about the game, because it's a complicated thing. A complicated platformer can be good, but this one keeps introducing new gameplay ideas up to the very last level, so I'll have to make some groups and categories to speak about things in a more understandable manner. Let's go with the usual and talk about the controls, because there's a few new things to say about them. You've got more things to do that require the both of them. All of them revolve on throwing around somebody to reach a certain place. It could be a platform or a grab worth item. A lot of times it will be a bonus barrel that will send you into a stage with a running clock, similar to the ones in the first game. You can do that with the Y button, and if you keep it pressed you get to recall your body if you throw it in a pit. For fun, you know? Or maybe if they land in an otherwise out of reach place and so you get to reach your eatable friend. They are also much more different than DK and Diddy were in the original, since I don't think they had any difference. Diddy now is more agile and will run faster, granting him a longer jump with run-up speed. Meanwhile, Dixie brings a whole new set of gameplay. She can jump higher but is slower, and will flutter if you press Y again after having jumped. Her banana air will move so fast it will slow your descent quite considerably. Keep it pressed until you've reached your objective. And now for the confusing part, the gameplay. So let's talk about it like this. Let's start with the regular platforming. The stages are much bigger and full of explorable areas when they happen. They might involve barrels and timing, but it's the usual stuff. They introduce new elements like sticky oni floors and walls, crocodiles to jump on like in Live and Let Die, and the insurmountable classic, the slippery sloppery. Ice floors are never gonna stop being in 2D platformers, and in the future even in 3D ones, if you can believe it. Up next, the animal buddies, since there's two uses of them. The first is the classic in the sense that you ride them. Returning from DKC, we got Rambi and Guard and Squawks, and they are functionally the same. Additionally, we now have also Squitter and Rattly. Squitter is a spider that will bring its own set of moves. If you press the Y button, you're gonna shoot a web of lies that's gonna target your enemies and kill them also. If you press A instead, you're gonna shoot a web of truth, and it's gonna open and you can stand on it. They last a little, but if you put more than two, the third one is gonna disappear faster, so be careful. By pressing up and down on the D-pad, you can control the direction too. And all those moves the spider has are gonna be useful quite a lot, so you better learn them. Rattly is a snake you can ride all coiled upside down. No wait. If you press and keep press the B button, you can do quite high jumps that will help you reach previously unthinkable movement in the upward direction. While keeping A in its own indentation, you will start to vibrate wildly until you release, and so also Rattly will release and go up in the air, move your hands up in the air. And then you possess the bodies of the animals and become them this time around. When you just ride them, you get another hit point, you drop off them and you can get them back. Just like in the original. In this one it's a bit harder since you got only 2 hits. As we all know, this means you got one and the second one kills ya dead. There is also killing you alive, trust me on this one. You get also more control and some extra moves in some cases, but I let you discover that. I'm tired of describing shit. Let's start talking about peace. No. There's also a few but very rare gimmicks that can be really considered types. Minecarts return, but they work differently each time. Also a few races in various ways, both minecart and animal form can happen, for example. There's also a few auto-scrollers toward the end, and the last few stages in general become extremely gimmicks oriented. Always a completely new idea, and only rarely they elaborate further on a previously introduced item. And this is a problem. Of actual platforming with Diddy and Dixie, you get a bit over half, and that's not too bad, but it's not enough. I don't like games that have more gimmicks than the main gameplay. Stuff like Spyro 3, Crash Bandicoot 3, Sly 3, Ape Escape 3, Jak and Daxter 3, Ratchet and Clank 3. Basically just pick any old Sony game that got a third entry and you'll be guaranteed some try-hard stuff that you never really wanted after all, while the main gameplay gets forgotten. This doesn't get to that level. After all, I said that it's comfy over half of main gameplay of pure platforming, that the other gimmicks don't really get annoying until the last 4 levels really. Out of well over 30 of them. But I still believe that you need to expand for over 75% your main gameplay and reserve 20 or 25% of it for gimmicks, but no more. Less or none would be even better, but I know certain devs can resist the temptation. The bosses were actually a great escalation. The first 2 are quite easy, and the third is the first challenge. The entirety of the third world is actually the first serious place of the game, so it makes sense for the boss to reflect that. And it goes forward from that. But the final boss I didn't like. Pirate Captain and King Kremlin Rule returns, and this time around he has a blunderbuss and he knows how to use it. You gotta throw cannonballs in it 9 times. Every time you eat it they change attack pattern. Yes, you get to experience 9 different attack patterns. It's gonna be very hard to learn all of these. It took me 2 hours to defeat. It was honestly very soul destroying. It happened because I learned everything in every single detail. Rule even shoots your cannonball back to you, and every time it goes faster, so you gotta remember to jump every time. And also to do it earlier in each occasion. I don't know if you guessed it, but it stressed me a lot and left a sour taste on me. It made me not want to finish searching for the other secret levels. Also because it's a fucking collectathon, and I think only one game did that type of platformer in a way that I loved, but we're far away from that. There's 5 secret levels and completing them is the only way to see the real ending, but who cares about that? I managed to get to 3, and it was enough. Because those bonus barrels that I was talking about earlier send you in bonus levels, where if completed you gained a creme coin. Those time locations are all every time unique, and I didn't find that they ever repeated once, so that was great effort in creativity. Every 15 you can go to one of the club locations in the world and pay the toll to access the lost world. Each location gets you to only one of the levels, made so that you couldn't choose your access by just getting here once. That would have been a nice reward, but we can't have that. But that's not enough, you have to defeat the final boss again, and while also having found another secret collectible in every single place, something called the DK coin. There's one of them in each stage and you gotta have them. They don't unlock anything, but Cranky Kong isn't happy and doesn't give you the full meal unless you get them. Because he can get them and you can do worse than him, or so he says. Or Mario, you gotta beat Mario, Yoshi and Link. They all got more than you. How embarrassing. Yeah, I didn't do it because it was hard to tell where to find those things or how many. They decided to keep it vague. You get an exclamation point when you got them, and a DK coin symbol next to the name of the level, saying to the right of the name of the world to signal that the place is completely done, and you don't gotta come back to it every time. I would have preferred a simple 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 4 numerical value. Like this, I don't know for how long I gotta search, and I honestly don't wanna spend minutes and minutes exploring every single angle of a board. It's not my style. But the most annoying part was a single level though, when I was forced to follow a literal lanternfish and the game tried to give me an epileptic attack. Does this look fun to you? Does this look like it's watchable? I suffered through this level and fortunately it was short, but it was pure pain. It's the only piece of code that I wish didn't exist in the game. I'm talking about it a lot so you get to suffer too. It's not fair that you didn't get to experience it, and if you did, it was years ago and you forgot. Now you remember. I hope it'll be seared on your brain. As you well know, I don't like much pre-render graphics. My reviews for both the original and Resident Evil 1 speak for themselves, but I can say that there are some notable improvements. We got more 2D effects on screen this time around and a fantastic parallax effect. It helps. They also kept the old tradition of the levels changing time of day or weather the more you get close to the end. Not a tradition at all since it was just introduced, but I like how the phrase turned out is all. They help give the sense of a true sequel since you also can see Kong Island, no, not that one, in the background. You had reached the Kremlin's ship previously, and from there you gotta go on their island in uncharted territory for your own sake. Donkey Kong must not die. Musically I liked it, but it's not amazingly memorable to me like the first title. We still have the plentiful and masterful integration of the sound effects into the music. The sound team still tried to make those stages feel a little more full than expected, but I still feel like the music is a bit too understated. The themes don't try as Aquatic Ambience does. Its counterpart, Lockjaw's Saga for example, doesn't ever break into an amazing melody. It remains pretty chill. Doesn't fit since now water stages are more deadly, you need a more hard-hitting theme. In the first game we got Treetops Rock, Voices of the Temple, Life in the Mines, Fear Factor and Forest Frenzy. In this sequel only Sticker Brush Symphony reaches those heights for me. I don't know what to tell you. Aside from the fact that I consider Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy's Kong Quest an honest 7 out of 10. The first game is a solid base for some truly artistic platformer, and the second one becomes a little too gimmick infused. They have solid gameplay mechanics in Diddy and Dixie, and they toss them aside so often it feels like they're not confident in what they have created. That feels lame to me. I view video games as art, and if you are not confident in your own art, then I'm not respectful of it. Simple as that. If you wanna see me play the games that I will review plus some extra stuff, catch me on Twitch at Araknie Retro. It's my natural habitat, you see. Until next time, ciao ciao!